Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon, and I'm here to bring you the URTL Group D game of Dust versus Quetzel. So let's go ahead and jump in and introduce these players. Spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom, we have the orange Terran player representing Team Dust. It is going to be Dust's Beast and his opponent. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom as the green Protoss player is going to be Quetzel's MVP. So, going to be just jumping into this game, and I just want to note, this is from the URTL. You are tuning into the URTL Best of 7 King of the Hill series, and of course, once again, this is from Group D, Week 1. So thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, thank you so much to all of these sponsors. That would be SC2 Gears, Origin PC, and Next Level Gaming. Go ahead and check all of them out. But in the meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and jump in and actually talk about this game. So this is going to be game number 1. So don't worry if you haven't seen game number 2 or game number 3 or any of the other games, because you're in the right place. You want to check out game number 1 first, of course. And, you know, out of both of these players, we see pretty normal looking builds. We have that gateway going down from MVP and our Quetzel's player, and of course from Team Dust we have Beast going for that 1 racks, and of course without any of these gas guys, there's kind of hints that Beast is looking to do some kind of a 1 racks expansion. We even see the little SCV going down over there, actually not really going for that command center with this SCV, at least just yet. Just doing a nice little scout, and I love that style, making sure that he gets good information, sees if there's some kind of proxy 2-gate or anything. That is actually something that has happened quite a few times on this map, just in general. And actually, what is this? We see that MVP going for a very interesting style, going ahead and just rallying those units or those probes straight onto that gas geyser and just only mining for 2 guys in gas. That actually indicates to me that he wants to throw down this expansion sometime in the near future. Probably going to be seeing a 1 gateway expand from him, but actually no, going ahead and grabbing that 2nd gas geyser. Now this actually might be something that Quantix Naniwa actually popularized, where basically a Protoss player will put 2 guys on each of these gas geysers. That allows him to get 4 mining gas geysers, or 4 guys mining gas, as opposed to just 3 or something of the sort. And then you can go ahead and branch off into all kinds of fun stuff. But over here we do see that Beast is going for that 1 racks expansion. Gonna be expecting him to add on 1 of these 2 gas geysers very soon, as he will need that to go ahead and get up some kind of tech lab or something of the sort. And yeah, the bunker also going to be very useful, as the Zealot can now make its way all the way down across the map and put on a little bit of pressure. We're going to have to wait and see if he actually opts to do that. We do see that expansion going down from MVP, and there we see actually 2 guys in each of those gas geysers. And now with that gas mining, with 4 guys in gas actually, rather than just 3, he's going to have a good opportunity to start teching very quickly. We're going to have to wait and see and come back to MVP to see what he wants to do. Now we do see the gas guys is going down for Dust Beast, and you know, I'm also curious to see what he's going to be up to. We do actually see those 2 additional barracks being added on. This is the most normal thing in the world for a Terran player to do after this 1 racks expansion. You need to get up at least 2 additional barracks just to be able to deal with any kind of pressure that the Protoss might put on. And of course, it gives you the option to put on some pressure if you get the feeling that your Protoss opponent is being a little bit too greedy. And you know, it's always fun to punish greedy play. Now, I mean, I have to come back over here to this SCV and just say what a fantastic job Beast has been doing scouting around for those proxy pylons. But unfortunately for him, the proxy pylon is actually already going down over here, which unfortunately I don't know if he's actually going to end up scouting. We do see this Marine tagging the Zelnok Watchtower. We'll have a good idea of the Stalker moving on. Actually, look at that great reaction time from Beast, immediately pulling back that Marine, as you know, he does not want to lose any more Marines than he really needs to, or take any additional damage. And actually putting these Marines over here at this round is going to do a good job just pushing that Stalker back, making sure it cannot abuse that extra additional range that a Stalker does have, as it does have 6 range, whereas a Marine only has 5. So stalkers can abuse that, but it's a little bit difficult when you have to deal with that high ground advantage. Now we do actually see a couple units being warped in over there for MVP. We only see really 3 gateways down, no additional gas guys over the natural expansion, no additional tech out just quite yet. I imagine that he's going to be throwing that down very, very soon, but we'll have to wait and see. We see quite a few zealots and actually a sentry or 2, actually 4 sentries already being made, and you know, he's gonna be able to do some nice aggression, gonna be able to force field any SCVs that would try and repair this bunker away, also be able to force field out some of those Marines and Marauders. But we're going to wait and see, as I feel like Beast might actually be prepared for this if he does control this right, as we do see he knows that that Stalker is still poking around, but I'm not sure that he actually knows about this giant force, and oh my god, that is looking to be a very scary army. But actually this SCV should have an idea of what is going on. He has a little bit of time to pull those SCVs. That's going to be so crucial, as he needs to make sure they are there in time. He's going to even hold position the SCVs in front of the bunker to make sure that those zealots do not have as much surface area. And we do see 1 force field going down, 2 force fields going down, but those force fields are also going to hurt those zealots from actually being able to do any damage to that bunker. The bunker is getting target fired down, but these Marines and Marauders are starting to tear apart all these zealots. Once these zealots disappear, those sentries and those stalkers are going to be so vulnerable, and the zealots actually being forced back. An additional warping round is definitely going to help MVP in pushing further into Beast base, and Beast is actually going to be forced to lift off. He's going to take a little bit of damage on this command center, but it's not going to go down by any means. And you know, Beast is going to have a nice position over here. Oh no, but there's not a complete wall up, and the Zealots are actually able to march straight into the base of a Beast, and he's going to be able to do a good amount of damage. Even a nice force field there coming down from MVP, stopping those Marines and Marauders from running in, even being able to net a couple of additional kills from those Marines. But unfortunately, he's run out of Zealots, he's run out of high ground vision, and now he's going to have to be forced to retreat for just a little bit. And you have to remember, this was only off of those 3 gateways. He still had both of these bases mining, but unfortunately for MVP, he did cut quite a few of those probes. So you can see, even though it looks like he has that lead in that worker count, he's at 36 to 32, and actually now to 38. You have to remember that Beast still has the advent use of those mules that are going to be so important, and that will actually give him a bit of an advantage once he can re-land his command center boat back over at that natural expansion. And of course, you also have to account for the fact that probably at least 2 of these pylons are going to be sniped off very, very soon as Beast decides to push down. So, you know, it came out relatively even, I would have to say, for both these players. But, you know, the longer that Beast is not actually reclaiming this natural expansion, even actually scouting out with that factory to make sure it's safe to push out, I'd like to see him actually go ahead and resecure that natural expansion right about now, as he does now know that that natural expansion is safe, and that MVP has actually gone ahead and retreated. But, you know, really interesting play coming out of both these players, and I'm really curious to see how MVP is going to transition. Looks like there is a robotics facility down, as well as a Twilight Council. Nothing actually being researched just quite yet. We actually also don't even see any upgrades currently finished. Oh, we do see a Templar Archives in the production tab. So it looks like High Templar is going to be the unit of choice from MVP. Getting out that observer also from that robotics facility is going to help to spot out to see what Beast is up to. Beast's going to try and do a little bit of spotting of his own with this factory in the meanwhile, and going to go ahead and resecure that natural expansion. Now, he did lose quite a bit of mining time from this natural expansion. You know, it doesn't really matter whether or not you have over 20, I think it was 24 SCVs. If you're only on mining 1 base. So it's very good that he actually finally resecured that natural expansion, and he should actually transfer a couple of workers, as I do believe he's a little bit oversaturated. Yeah, just a little bit. But anyways, going back to what is going on, MVP has warped in a couple of these High Templar and should be researching Storm. Storm about halfway completed, and this is a really nice play that you can do. But oh my god, the Storm is not going to be completed in time. We actually see some delayed force fields. The Beast actually getting some nice snipes off on every single one of those sentries. And with all the sentries going down, it's going to be very difficult for the Zealot heavy army to actually be able to deal with this Marine or Marauder force, as those Marines are just going to be able to do some nice cutting action. There we actually see some of that stutter step action and actually be able to snap up all of those Zealots, and now the Marines are going to be able to move in. Those medevacs have 0 energy though, and you know, MVP still has a chance. He has to warp in, but oh my god, losing so many of these probes. These Marines are so stimmed to death, and they are just on the verge of dying. As soon as these Stalkers start to poke these Marines, they're going to start to just fall over. but unfortunately for these Stalkers, Marines with 0 health do as much damage as, Marines with 1 health do as much damage as Marines with full health. And actually, you know, Beast being able to do a lot of damage over there. We can see that he has actually evened up that worker count once again, but you have to remember 18 Marines over against 4 Zealots, 2 Stalkers, and a High Templar with no energy. And of course, Beast also has a couple of those medevacs out. He is actually was looking to do some drop play. There it is, actually medevac loaded up with 7 Marines. He's going to be able to do some nice drop harassment over here. As you have to remember, MVP is very low on those units, and look at how out of position they are, actually having to try and deal with this Marine force over at the 3rd. You're going to get a cancel on that, and meanwhile picking up so many of these workers in MVP's base. We can see he might even get a High Templar. That is a huge win for a Beast, and even going to get a 2nd High Templar, forcing out the Storm as well. And now we do see that the Marines over at the 3rd are forced to pick up, as those medevacs are going to get away with very low health and very low energy. But of course, the Marines over in the main are going to get cleaned up. But at the same time, actually 3 additional Marines are dropping over that natural expansion. That actually might be the medevac from the main, but still just doing so much multi-pronged harassment from a Beast. And he's going to be able to really just pull MVP apart. MVP is falling apart just in terms of all this harassment coming from every which way. As we can even see here over here, another group of Marines and a single medevac coming in, doing that stutter step micro to take out all those Zealots without taking minimal damage. And we can even see over there another High Templar loss. He just could not be affording to lose these High Templar, considering what a low economy situation he's going to be on, especially after losing all of these probes. Oh no, MVP, the critical loss of all of those probes is going to actually cause him to GG. So very well played by both these players, but it looks like Team Dust is going to take game number 1 in this best of 7 King of the Hill style series. You can even see that 3rd was on the way for Beast, and wow, just a really fantastic game. So please go ahead and tune in to game number 2. I will see you guys there, and yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, please go ahead and visit all of our sponsors. That's going to be SC2 Gears, Next Level Gaming, as well as Origin PC. As you know, we really couldn't have these games without them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. I'll see you guys there.